Hey guys, what's up? And for my 200th review, I thought I'd review a movie that I thought would be a good film to watch when it came, like a year or so after it came out in 2009. I'd been putting it off ever since, and now 2014, I finally watched it. It's a Norwegian zombie horror comedy film from 2009, and that movie is Dead Snow. This movie is about like a group of like students that are in college, and they're going to a cabin in the mountains to kind of relax, and they find themselves being attacked by Nazi zombies. This was back before Nazi zombies were extremely overused. So the film opens on a woman running through the woods with classical music behind it while she's being chased by Nazi zombies. We meet our med students, the group of guys in a car, four guys in a car. They're just joking around, and then we meet the girls that are in the car behind them, and it's three girls, and they're just kind of sitting there talking about which one is the cutest, and yeah. And the fat guy's a film nerd. He's my favorite character. So they reach the mountains and they gear up and they head up, and they're talking about when they're walking up there, and they're like, "Hey, what this?" And the film guy's like, "Hey, what this turns out like Evil Dead," and they talk about that for a little bit. Then they talk about April Fool's Day, the slasher film I've yet to see, but I know the ending too. So right when they got there, they had a snowmobile, and the guy got on the snowmobile. He went up to the mountain. He gets there first. He looks around, goes inside, dusts the place off, similar to how they did it in Evil Dead. How Scotty went to the cabin and it was really dusty and dirty and dark. That's basically kind of how it works. So later that day, Martin accidentally scares one of the girls, similar to Evil Dead. One of them goes out to the outhouse. One of the girls goes out to the outhouse and gets scared when she hears a noise outside. She runs inside and tells them someone's out there. An old guy shows up asking for a cup of coffee. He steals one of their beers and asks them what they're doing there. After they tell him what they're doing there, he tells them the history of the area, and basically what happened in this town was it was controlled by Nazis, and the entire town got together with like knives and sickles and all the knives and sickles and scythes and all these kind of sharp instruments, and killed a bunch of the Nazis, and the rest of them like went up into the mountains and apparently froze to death. So after he warns them, he threatens one of them and he leaves. One of the guys wakes up in the middle of the night, thinking that one of the girls went outside, and he sees her like infected, I guess. So he wakes up from a nightmare. We meet the old guy again, who is camping in a tent by himself, and he hears a noise, so he comes out with a shotgun, only for him to get his throat slit, and he is butchered in his own tent. The next day, they're snowboarding and doing all kinds of winter sports. The snowmobile... The guy on the snowmobile finds the old man's campsite, finding him dead, and he heads back. The movie buff is wearing a Brain Dead t-shirt. Also, they find a box full of gold in the house, in the cabin. The snowmobiler gets lost in the mountains. The fat guy does a Terminator impersonation before going to take a shit in the outhouse, and then he has sex with one of the girls in the outhouse. And he just comes back with a big shit-eating grin. The girl that was in the outhouse doesn't come back. They start to worry about her, and so Martin and the movie buff go out and they look for her, and they find a bag outside that belongs to Sarah, the girl that they were supposed to meet here. And now that they know that what they're dealing with, so they arm themselves and attempt to barricade the place, and fail pretty bad when the film buff gets killed. And that's where I stopped writing, because I was kind of upset. This movie's like Shaun of the Dead meets Evil Dead on the set of 30 Days of Night. The acting and writing are actually very good. The effects are all practical, except for one or two scenes with some CGI blood and some CGI backgrounds that look really bad. All in all, really good flick. I could suggest it to just about any horror fan, especially those who are fans of horror comedies. It makes references to other films like Evil Dead, Army of Darkness. It makes references to a lot of stuff. And I kind of nerdgasmed on many levels when I heard those references and noticed those references. Um, Really, I can't wait for the sequel to come out. Actually, I think it may have already came out this year. I think it came out in January, so it should be on DVD and Blu-ray within this year, I hope. And I can't wait to check out the sequel to it. And on the gore meter from 1 to 10, 1 being something like The Corpse Grinders, and 10 being something like Brain Dead, this movie's a 7. It's pretty gory. I absolutely love this film. Funny, gory, over the top. You can tell the director and writer of the film love the genre, love the horror film genre, because just with all the references and everything, you can tell they really care about the genre. As I stated earlier, I will be checking out the sequel. Anyway, guys, 5 out of 5 for me. I absolutely loved it. I'm BiscuitBoo69, signing off with my 200th review. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing and making my channel somewhat successful and popular. Peace.
You're listening to a demo for